Hey everyone, I am Pat, and today we are joined by Josey, where we are going to be talking about...
Conventions and going to them
Ooh,
and doing shit at them.
yeah, so get your nylons on and your nipple tape out. We're getting comfy.
They did make guys wear the nipple tape also.
I know, I was, one of my first, experiences at a convention, I wore the, I had this pink tank top one that said free hugs on it, and the guy yelled at me because I wasn't allowed to wear that, so I had to take it off, and then he yelled at me because my nipples were exposed, and I was like, this is a no win-win situation here.
Yeah, apparently it's soliciting hugs. I really think it's just really smelly people wearing those shirts and trying to get hugs from everybody, blocking up hallways and...
Spread love, not BO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should just hand out like little miniature sticks at the door.
That would be nice.
No excuses. You can't be like, oh, I smell because I forgot my deodorant.
Right.
It's right
Or
there,
just
buddy.
whatever hotels are in the area, one should be in every single room. Instead of a mini bar, just have a Old Spice bar.
What was
every
our
flavor.
first convention together?
Otakon, I think. I don't know what year it was, but it was definitely Otakon.
Did you go the first year, or did you go after or
2011 supposedly is the first year.
The first year you went.
And I guess we should say we are welcomed on third mic by youngster Dan over there.
I get to keep my cool nickname. I'm here.
He's here.
I'm here.
Orange Joe.
Orange Joe.
I do like that name too.
Yeah, Orange Joe's dope. So Josey, what was your first con? Because you've been in the game a lot longer than we have.
I think the
feel
first one I went to was in 2005. I was like 15 with green hair.
Nice.
What convention was that?
It was Otakon.
Okay.
Yeah, it was only Otakon for Otakon and the occasional Baltimore Comic Con for the first 10 years of my life probably. And then Mike went to KatsuCon and was like, you got to try this one. It's like Otakon, but it's all self-contained in one unit. So you can get fucked up
And just better.
in your room, be in the convention, be too fucked up, go back to your room.
Who did you cosplay as the first time?
The first time I went, I didn't cosplay as anything.
But you had green hair.
Yeah.
You could have been like
That was-
Zorro
that was just me.
Beast Boy or
I didn't
anyone
really
else with
watch
green
much
hair?
anime back then. It was literally just like Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, Gundam Wing, and Cowboy Bebop.
So all the main staple animes you watched.
Yeah,
but
I watched everything that was on like Toonami and Adult Swim. Nothing else.
Fair enough.
But I was like, I don't see myself as a Spike. So I was like, I don't feel comfortable being that character.
Yeah.
So for a while I was like, I'll go as side people until I feel more comfortable to be the lead.
I can appreciate that.
So I was like,
I
I can
still
stand
to
in the
this day
back.
don't think I've cosplayed anyone a lead in a show.
I mean, you were
But
Mario.
I
Slutty
was
Mario, but
Mario.
you were Mario.
Yes. That I think that was my first cosplay.
The Slutty Mario.
The Slutty Mario. Yeah, I just wore a man thong, a red fishnet shirt, shaved into a mustache similar to what I have now, and then put on a Mario hat.
One of the first ones I remember doing was a group cosplay for an anime I didn't watch, but they all wanted me to go with them. It was the bald dude from Bleach. Ikaku, I think is his name. But I
Okay.
shaved my head for that, and man,
That's pretty dope that you cosplayed Bleach.
yeah.
Have you watched any of the new stuff?
I watched 3 episodes that had the bald guy
The bald
in it,
guy in it.
so that I was like, I can at least act like this character somewhat.
So the ball guy with the big staff and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. How did he lost his arm, I realized. And
I
I don't know. I was watching the new episode and I was like, he doesn't have an arm.
Oh, so he's
Why?
still alive.
pretty much honestly, most characters are still alive, and even the ones that die come back in some convoluted way. So it's like Digimon; they just come back singing a different tune. They're
Basically,
fine.
every Toonami anime.
Yeah.
God, I'll learn how to speak English
No
one
one
day.
ever comes back to life in Dragon Ball Z.
That's the only
Ever.
thing they don't do.
Right. That's why Dragon Ball Z is the prime anime.
Mm-hmm. Yo.
Because everyone stays dead.
Yes.
Are we allowed to address off camera?
Yeah.
Were you there the year they did the what's that the Fast and Furious song for Dragon Ball Z, where they just kept showing people getting killed and then playing that "When I'll See You Again" song?
Yes,
Were you there for that AMV? Yeah.
That was amazing.
That was the best AMV I've ever seen in my life. It was just scenes from Dragon Ball and characters dying. And like the first time they show, like, I think Goku is the first relevant character to die.
In Dragon Ball Z, yeah.
Yeah, they show that scene, and it's like, it is kind of a tearjerker. It is pretty sad. But then they show like every death throughout the series.
After that.
And by like death 15 of Goku, Vegeta, Krillin, everybody, you're like, yeah, okay, that's not sad anymore, but they keep playing the When I See You Again song.
Oh my God. One of the greatest things I've still seen online too is there's a clip that someone put together where it's like Frieza shooting his death beam at Goku, and he's just like, boom, and slaps it away, and then it goes over to a shot of Vegeta laying on the ground just getting shot through the chest. It's like the greatest scene I've ever seen in my life, and I love it.
Oh man, those were pretty classic. It's the only time I ever think I went and saw the AMVs, because like Amanda and her group were going up there, and I was like,
it was a different time. Like cons from like 2008 to like 2014 were like the sweet spot of like nerd culture.
Yeah.
Where, like it was in its own like unique hub. Like my fiance and I, Amanda, off camera, we went to the AMV contest at Katsucon this year. It was fine. Like it was fine. Like everything was kind of more or less the same. But like if you go, you know, you type into YouTube like num.exe, like Vegeta AMV, you're like, oh my God, this hits home. Was it in the end?
The early 2000s Dragon Ball Z AMVs, which it was literally just Linkin Park and Dragon Ball Z. And I can't remember what it was, but so there was a Trunks one that was
By Myself.
By Myself, yeah.
So there was By Myself. There was another Breaking the Habit one, which is in itself is an AMV. That like Linkin Park kind of paved the way for like animated music.
Oh, and then there was a Naruto one that we watched that had Zebrahead, which is Everything Falling Apart.
Yep.
Where it was just Naruto and Sasuke fighting at like the God Waterfall or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
That's actually like how I figured out who Zebrahead is. And I'm going to plug that name. Go listen to Zebrahead.
You should definitely listen to Zebrahead.
You should definitely
Every
listen to
iteration of
Zebrahead.
him is pretty good.
So Dan, what did you cosplay at conventions?
So my first cosplay, I think, was Finn. I want to say it was Finn.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Was that the same year you went as TK too?
Oh God,
From Digimon?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, I can't wait to find pictures of that.
I remember that.
If pictures get added to this, so my my good friend Chris, who's like was deep in the cosplay game, he had pointed out that I looked like Axl Rose if he cosplayed TK because I shaved the night before, and as you'll probably see through the progression of this podcast, my facial hair grows back at like 10 times the speed of a normal person. So I had 5 o'clock shadow. Cosplaying is effectively, how old is TK?
Like
7, 8.
Yeah.
And I'm dead. Like all the pictures from the group photo shoots, which we had to touch on group photo shoots. I'm just like dead wearing this children's costume, just like looking like 10 Mile Stare. It's amazing. Dude. I miss that. Yeah, I think it was Finn, TK. I want to say like Fry at some point.
You did Fry.
That was fairly later, but I don't know if I had any other costumes.
Me and you did the henchman from Venture Bros.
You guys were really popular
like
that day.
13 and 14. What were their names?
I don't know. I can remember like how they talk.
Yeah, the guy that talks like,
they talk like this.
I'm sure that every single fan of that show knows exactly
who we're talking about right now.
It was great though.
Oh my God, that was a good year.
Yeah,
and like
you guys were really popular. I had no idea what it was. So
the
I was
best
just
part
like,
about that too was
interesting.
Like it was like 2 days before the con, and we were like, we really want to cosplay, but we have no idea what to do. So we happened to be watching Venture Bros, and we were like, let's just do this. And we went out and bought like shit orange t-shirts and like black undershirts and stuff like that, and we just made wings out of I worked at a grocery store at the time, so I got like giant metal wire that we used to tie like bales of cardboard together, and we bent them in the wings and everything.
It was really nice.
That sucked, and I remember that because my hands still have the marks in that.
Yeah,
but that was the most, I'm gonna put it on the record, one of the most expensive cosplays I've done, because I think we sat out and we were like, this is gonna be easy. How hard is it gonna be to find things that are yellow? It's not. They're all different colors. Apparently, yellow rain boots do not exist.
I found that problem out with the Flash.
I remember we're like, okay, we're going to go as the henchman. They have rain boots. Yellow rain boots. Classic, right? No, not a single one. We had to, spray paint them?
We had to spray paint them. And then it was, because Otacon's in August, so it got up to like 90 degrees. And we had left the cosplay in my car the night before, and the yellow boots melted to my leather seat. Yep. And I still have yellow stripes on my seat from those boots.
I just remember like not being able to see at all because the goggles kept fogging up because it was so hot.
Yeah.
And like, I think it was was it Anderson that was like, hey, someone's trying to take a picture with you guys, and you like diverted us over to people.
Yeah, he was just like
couldn't see
steering
anything.
us. It was awesome. That was the same year that Devin went as Excalibur. Because
Oh,
I
God.
remember like
Yeah.
people were just kind of like, they'd run up to Excalibur and they'd be like, oh sweet, and then they turn around and be like, Venture Bros, and they come running up to us.
I think Devin stood still. Like I timed him. He was in the middle of the Otakon Convention Hall for 35 minutes, just
Standing
doing
there.
a circle with people taking pictures.
Bless that man.
It's crazy. I love seeing the faces of people. Like they finally like get their win. They take off their mask and they're just like dead inside, and it's amazing. But you have some stories, because I think every cosplay you did early on, you had some big ass prop that you were carrying that was 50 to 100 pounds or just like gigantic.
The first really popular one I did was Sid, like Highwind from Final Fantasy VII. My prop wasn't big. The problem with that cosplay is back then, every single person in our group smoked. And it was Otakon, so it was July in the city or August in the city. And they would be like, you'd see a door open and they'd be like, oh, I got to go have another smoke. And they'd smoke. You'd sit out there, roast. They'd go back in finally. They'd walk by. They'd see another door and be like, that reminds me, I need to smoke again. Yep. Or they'd see someone they know out there smoking and go join them and go talk to them and then light up and start smoking again. So by the time I finally go inside, I've got like a sweat stain on my chest. And I was like, well, at least I'm supposed to look like a dumpy idiot. So
All my makeup's running and everything. We all look good.
I was like, this. I was like, eventually, other Amanda went off and
The
was
one
like,
of 10.
ditched all of them, yeah, and I was like, okay, so we're allowed to do that, and kind of figure out how this whole thing works, where you
How
don't
the
need to
con
stay
works.
with your group, and I'm like, okay, I can run off, and then other people follow you, and you're like, oh shit, am I leading people places?
Yeah.
Dude, I gotta say, like, the biggest mistake you can make at a convention is not cosplaying. Because, like, I did that before. I just went to the convention thinking, like, oh, this will be great. Just, like, walking around, seeing the outfits, and, you know, going through the dealer's hall. And, like, the dealer's hall is great.
Oh, yeah.
But the level of excitement that it just, like, multiplies when you're wearing an outfit and people are, like, running up to you and being like, oh, can I take your picture? Can I take your picture? Because, I mean, like, I think the first year I went, there was a point where I just like snuck off with Sean and we just drank like a bottle of Fireball in the bathroom, and I came out and I looked at everyone and I was just like, man, I want to be in an outfit right now. I was like so sad and just drunk in the middle of like 10,000 people, and so can't make that mistake again.
I think that's where I started dressing like slutty in between, so that I still felt like I was doing something. Just wear some kind of slutty outfit and just
respect it.
roll with that, because I'm like, I'm tired of being in a costume, but like booty shorts and a tank top. People are still going to look at you and be like, hey, someone brings up their kid to you and they're like, you're the Flash, but it was just me in a tutu and a red Under Armour Flash t-shirt. And they were like, can my son get a picture with you? I was like, your son does not want a picture with me. I'm positive. But I took the picture, and that kid's going to be like 15, probably like 20 now, looking at that photo like, Mom, what the fuck did you? This guy is not.
Why did you
dressed up
let
as the
him
Flash.
like hug me? Like, there's news articles everywhere about how this is bad now.
I am very glad that like those tights and like cosplay stuff in general has just gotten better quality.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of awkward boners and spandex and like really weird like outfits. Like I look back at some of our pictures and I see people in the background. I'm like, they would not fly today.
No.
Like that's crazy.
Well, that's why, like, when I walked around in like the Speedo for Mario, I had to shove my phone down the front just so
Your
it got
driving
rid
suck.
of the
The shape.
It was my I told people it was my 8-bit wiener because it was square and pixelated. But
I mean,
that
that's
was
fair.
also the year where I wandered around outside and somehow wound up in the newspaper hugging a brony.
Can you imagine walking Baltimore at night now?
No.
Topical
my goodness.
subject.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's fun when you think about like your stage of cosplay. Like it always starts off like, okay, low quality, then slutty, then medium quality, then group cosplay, then too much money, and now you're like in it.
And
Do
then
you
you go
remember-
right back to slutty.
And right back to slutty,
The
but with money.
year that Attack on Titan came out.
Oh
and
my God.
every single person was an Attack.
Yeah.
They just had the jacket on.
Yeah, if no one
'cause
wore
it
a
was-
wig though. It was just like, it's me if I
It's
were
me,
there.
but I'm just wearing khakis in this jacket.
I remember this was Kazakon. It was the same year. So it was Attack on Titan. What was the was like a webcomic.
Oh,
Everybody
Homestuck.
had Homestuck. It was Attack on Titan and Homestuck. And I like nerd culture. I love it. I was at the point where I was like, if I see one more of these people, you're going down the escalator.
I don't even
I'm
know
going with you.
What is Homestuck?
They're like those gray people with horns, I think.
Homestuck, it's like it's a
okay,
webcomic
yeah.
that got super, super popular.
I don't know anything about it, honestly. There was
I
just
refuse to
thousands of
read
them.
it. So, like, if you guys like Homestuck, that's fine. I don't hate you. I hate the fact that 80% of the con was that cosplay. But I think because, like, everywhere you stepped, you were either stepping on somebody's, like, air gear with the sword, or somebody just dropped their horns on the ground and they shattered. And, like, come on, just,
Yeah.
you can't do this anymore.
What are the other popular cosplays that we've seen over the year?
I mean, Akatsuki was always a thing.
This past year was Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw
100%
Man.
Chainsaw
The one
Man.
that's taken over pretty much the last decade is Overwatch. Like, you
Really?
can't go anywhere without some
Yeah.
Overwatch. One character or another. A lot of, I don't know any of the characters' names, honestly.
No.
Diva's the only one I know. Like, offhand. Tracer, I think.
Yeah, the yellow
Diva,
one.
Tracer, and
Mercy.
Widowmaker?
I've seen a couple cool Mercies.
Mercy can get really dope.
Yeah.
Zach and I were talking about that because with Widowmaker, they did a StarCraft variation of her character. So it's Sarah Kerrigan from StarCraft. And there's like a potentially, like if they did another StarCraft, they could use Mercy to turn her into the infested Kerrigan because she's got the like bone wings and it would replace
Oh.
that. And we were like, that'd be a really dope
That would be
skin if
dope.
they did that.
I always do like that because there's like so many different outfits you could do. Like I mean, everyone usually chooses the same one, but like the amount of options are there, and I find that nice. But like, I'm trying to like, okay,
I saw some dope Yu-Gi-Oh ones this year.
yeah, wigs have gotten so
The
much
wigs
better.
have gotten so much better.
I kind of miss
And,
the crusty ones.
Like, I saw someone
the
actually
crusty
cosplaying like Kaiba, like to a T. Like they were like 6'4", had like
was
the
a
build.
woman, too,
They had
wasn't
the
it?
lean, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it
Did they
was
have
just,
the
like,
attitude?
perfect. They had. I didn't talk to them, but
Oh.
they
I love
definitely
when-
were like scowling at like every single.
I
thing.
love when someone's like in character as a character.
Right. It's
Like-
amazing. Oh, fucking everyone was Spider-Man this year too.
yeah, but like
which-
I'm okay with that because like
You just pretend you're in the multiverse, like all of the different
guess.
Spider-Men across
But
the
it's like
multiverse.
everywhere you look, and everyone's
yeah.
just like,
Spider-Man,
like,
Spider People are what Deadpool cosplayers should be.
oh,
I
fucking
am
Deadpool.
tired
was a
of
thing.
Deadpool cosplayers.
Oh my god.
Like it's great, but it's kind of like I feel like people have started to use it as an excuse to be an asshole. And it's
Yes.
like, no, he's a good guy. He just does funny stuff. You're just being an asshole. and
Yeah,
touching
like if you're
women.
being cheeky, I can get
Yeah.
that, but just walking around being a dick to people isn't funny.
No.
But I think that was like 2010. I'm trying to think. A lot of Deadpools.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Bleach.
Lots of Bleach.
What else was coming out at that time?
Italia.
Hitalia.
What's that one? I'm not thinking
The
of that.
All the gay countries. Just die not knowing. It's okay.
Anime Army.
Okay.
Oh, okay. 02. That's always been a big
Oh
one.
my god, yeah.
From Darling in the Franxx
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking like
Evangelion
our
Part Two.
childhood.
and Evangelion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You did a dope Master Roshi. You didn't mention your Roshi.
Oh, dude,
I'm gonna be honest. I
seriously.
kind of forgot about it.
Oh my god, Master Roshi was amazing, dude.
That was like going back to the steps of cosplay. Like that was the first year I did a bald cap. I regret it because I didn't get a haircut, so my hair was super long and I put a bald cap. So it was like, okay, it was Katsucon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
was
it
like
was super hot.
2
for that
years
year.
ago.
It was like 78 degrees.
My favorite
in
picture of
February.
you is us sitting at a table and you passed out on
Yep.
the table because of like heat exhaustion and getting like 3 hours of sleep the night before, maybe.
I do like right before I passed out, I had found a Brawley cosplayer
Oh, dude,
who was like 7.5
Yo,
feet
he was
tall,
jacked.
like probably on steroids, but like good for him.
Yeah.
yeah,
That man was
dude
packing.
was
Yeah.
solid.
Oh, and that same year, me and off camera Lauren, we did
Off-camera
launch.
Lauren.
We did the launch variations.
Oh,
People
You had to be hotter
loved
than
you
me.
guys.
What's
Huh?
the deal? I said you had to be hotter than me.
Just I have so many more tattoos than you had at the time.
That's true.
Yeah.
Also, the previous year you did Roshi also, and Lauren and I went as Trunks and Bulma,
Yeah.
and that's when they did like the there was like a DBZ exhibit in the dealer's hall, so they had that big setup.
Oh, where we got to
we
stand in the
took pictures
cloud
in front of it,
That
yeah.
was so great.
Oh.
That was fun.
I
That's
saw-
also the year they had the giant, like someone did like a Marlboro from Final Fantasy, and it was in like the artist alley. We
I
got
was
some
just,
battle
like,
pictures with
I
that.
was hyped to see the Sand Speeder from Star Wars this year. that like full size replica of Luke's sand speeder.
You know those like the fuck are those things called? They're just wheels on a
Bikes.
board.
Oh,
Unicycle. Hoverboards.
Hoverboards.
Got it.
The
Yeah.
hoverboard. When Lauren and I went to the Rhode Island Comic Con like years ago to meet Stan, there was a Hobgoblin cosplayer who was riding on one of those, but had
Oh,
stuff
that's
attached to the bottom of it, so
dope.
it looked like he was on the cart. And we just sat outside of like he was outside because like you can't bring that thing in, just
Right.
rolling around in the front, and people are getting pictures of him holding the bomb up and like laughing
That's
and fake
amazing.
throwing them, and I was like, that is so freaking cool. Like.
See, I've seen people do that with Aladdin and the magic carpet too, and it always looks good.
Yeah.
Like
I don't care if you just like put a carpet on top of like one of those wheel carts from like a grocery store.
I mean,
and just
there-
stand on it.
there's a point where the cosplay is so bad it's almost better.
Yeah.
And like I love it. I love low cost and like low effort because I think.
Well,
it's
that was our
amazing.
Tetris thing.
Yeah.
I have like a memory that's burned into my head forever from the Tetris.
You just wanted
one.
to fit in.
We were there. I think it was me, Brian, Chris, and also Brian at the time. And we're standing there getting our picture taken as the blocks. And there's this girl in like a really well done, like she put some serious effort into this. And we have like 20 people in front of us taking pictures of these like pizza boxes that I cut out and Amy painted. That's it. And they're just in the shapes of Tetris blocks. And she's just mean mugging the fuck out of our group. And I was like, I feel you.
I
You probably
remember
put a lot of work into that.
there was one
And I did not.
convention
But this
I
is
went to.
hilarious and you know it.
I think it was Katsucon I went to or something like that, and I was walking around with your brother actually, and we went
Which
up to
one?
Jeremy.
Okay.
We went up to the hotel and we came back down and we were in an elevator and there was this girl next to us and Jeremy, like, I'm looking at him and he's just sweating and I'm like, what is going on right now? And she walks out and he was like, do you know who that was? And I was like, no. He was like, that's Jessica Negri. I was like, am I supposed to know who that is? And he like pulls it up. He's like, she's a famous cosplayer. And I was like, oh, I have seen her. Yeah, Pikachu girl.
She's done some voice acting now too. So
Really?
she's,
No
like,
shit.
actually famous. Yeah, she did like, well, for Rooster Teeth when it was a good thing.
Oh,
It'll come
Am
back.
I allowed
around.
to say that on here? Am I allowed to?
Sorry,
roast
they're
them
actually
publicly?
sponsoring us. So.
Well, there goes that sponsorship.
them and Wendy's French fries are our sponsors. of the
Dude, you got to
episode
get Taco Bell as a sponsor.
because we live.
If we
Moss.
just start bringing
Yeah.
it on, I mean, what's
We just have to eat Taco Bell every single video.
say
we'll
that
just
like it's a
keep-
challenge. I'll get a party box right now.
Just like the 12-pack of tacos, just sitting in the middle all the time, just smashing food
Yes.
all throughout the podcast. That's what people want to see.
The audio is going to be amazing. It's just going to be ASMR of soft tacos and crunchy
the worst
tacos.
ASMR. Do people like listening to people eat?
Yes.
unfortunately.
That's
Yes.
so gross.
yeah.
That's
Oh
like
my God.
everything I want when I'm out is to not hear you eat.
Right.
With that
Half the
being
reason I
said,
never shut up.
if you guys want to hear us eat, we can make another channel. Let us know in the comments.
We'll even zoom in on our mouth so you can see us chew. That's a whole new level.
Get that good mouthfeel.
I'm not going to do that. The guest spots end.
It's fine. This channel isn't for
There's
you.
no guest ASMR. I'm sorry.
That's just going to be called family dinner. It's just me and Dan.
All right.
Speaking of ASMR, cons. And this is going back. So I'm thinking of this because of our sleeping arrangements.
Oh God.
God.
Yeah.
Dog piling
So,
into any bed, man. Wherever
if-
there's space.
You frequented the con circuit like most people did. You probably stayed in a room fit for 4 people with about 10 in it.
10 at least.
At least.
I think that you had said the biggest mistake you can make at a convention is not cosplaying. I think the biggest mistake you can make is saying, I'm going back to the room, because then everyone just follows and that's your entire day is gone.
That's fair.
But I don't
You
know.
just sneak back to the room if
It
you
was
wanna come
amazing
back.
how we did that. And like, it worked.
There was one time. Oh, we got to wrap it up.
There was one time,
And that's it.
Fucking ended.
Stay for part 2.
Anyway, guys, if you have some great con, I don't know, adventures or stories or anything like that, or you just want to talk to us about cons, let us know in the comments. If you like this episode, make sure you check out our other video, Get Uncomfortable. If you like Josey, we can watch him play some games. No, nothing that made sense. If you like Josey on this episode, make sure to stick around and watch our next one, where it's Josey, say something.
Watch me. Ooh.
Get Uncomfortable.
Cut. That's it.
Get first time.